Welcome. Welcome, everybody. We are live. We are live. Can you hear us, people? We are live. You know, you could turn up, if you guys are seeing this and you're like, I can't hear anything, you could turn up your volume and listen to it and see if it comes out or not. But we are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome. Yay!
Wait,
Can you
Ben,
hear us?
wait, Ben.
Can you see us?
I'm looking at the monitor.
Hope this is working.
Kind of really cool. I really like this.
Is this not working? Do you not hear us?
Okay.
Yeah, it should be on. It should be good. All right.
Well,
Cool. Well, welcome to this second episode of Redstone Live. This time around,
in 2014.
2014. This time around, it's just the two of us, as you can tell. We are going about it solo duo. Anyways, as we promised you, we will be back again next Tuesday is what we said last Tuesday, and now this is this Tuesday. And again, we are ahead in time. So when you see this, you'll be behind us by about a minute. So it's okay. Hey, this is better progress than last time, because I remember last time we were like, we're live, and then we can figure it out, and we were not live. And so this is definitely better than last time.
Yeah, that's true.
This time around, though, as with all like TV shows or any sort of shows, you know, the first premiere is always like an hour long, so cool, or maybe 2 hours long, and then we're gonna cut this one shorter. I'm sorry, but 30 minutes, condensing it down. It's like P90X3, you know? You get first P90X 1 hour long, this is P90X3. Condensed, 30 minutes, we could do it, people.
Ben, you should be a Tony Horton. Like, replace Tony Horton.
Yeah, there's a line. Brittany, hold on a second, people. Technical difficulty.
I don't know what to say right now.
Oh,
See,
yeah!
Ben,
Don't worry, guys.
Ben got rid of the line.
You know what? I got rid of the line. There was a line right in my forehead, right here. But it is gone, people. Gone. Disappeared. So, anyways, we're going to take this time to maybe share with you guys a little bit about what we've been going through, what are some of the things that God's been revealing to us. And so I feel, or we feel, like this is a good opportunity for us to be able to share some of the same things that we talk about here in this place as Redstone. So, if you have questions during the talk, if you have anything
Comments.
when we talk about it, you have any comments, whatever, please go to our Twitter account, our Facebook account, our MySpace account, our website. You could email us to our website. On YouTube, you could just put it right as you're watching this. You'd be like, YouTube this up, people, and just comment it. We're going to speak today on
Galatians 5.
Galatians 5. So we're very excited. If you guys are just now tuning in, this is our attempt on having a live broadcast coming to you via our studio here in the basement. As you can see, look, it's me right over there. Look, it's delayed. See how delayed it is?
Hey, look at our shirts.
Oh yeah, by the way, we are sporting our shirt. This is a new line. This one here, it's an old new. It's kind of like the Deluxe Edition, you know. It's like, it's old but new.
See, I was scared that they were gonna show
Old design,
this
new
down
colors.
because I'm just like on my sweat.
This is
wearing
not
sweatpants.
old new. This is new. This is
Really?
Yeah, new design, new colors. Old new, new. You figure it out. Let us know what you think. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Boop, boop. And if you do like it, I don't know, are these up already on our online store? Yes, they are. They are up on our online store. You go to breadofstone.com, click on the merch tab. Merch typically stands for merchandise. Click on that, take you to it. So
You know, before we say all that too, just reminding people that everything, whether they buy it online or when they see us, like everything that they buy, 10% of that is going to help people in Indonesia.
yeah,
So
some of you guys may know this or might not. We have a ministry called the Light Project that the band started about 5 years ago now.
yeah,
And it's a ministry that really empowers those people in Indonesia who's already begun their ministry themselves to helping others to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ and to share the love of Jesus. And this is just our way of saying, hey, we'd like to help out. We might not be able to be there all the time. We only go there once a year, typically.
We try to. And I mean, basically, in a nutshell, we're just empowering these people to be able to do what God's called them to do full-time, basically.
Yeah.
You know, so that they don't have to go to work during the day and then try to do this thing, and they just focus on this.
Yeah, and actually, we've got these... The ladies are behind the scene. Okay, one of them is, of course, operating the camera back behind you. So if you guys just turn around, look behind you. That's Brittany right there behind you. And so the girls, Brittany and Shannon, make these very, very cool-looking bracelets.
Yeah,
Here,
I'll hold a few.
you hold a few. Hold a few. You hold the.
You know what we should do is
thin
play
ones?
a guessing game.
Okay, which one? This is Exhibit A, the first bracelet. Is it Brittany's design, or is it Shannon's design?
Whoa.
Brittany,
Easy on the zooming there.
is it yours, or is this Shannon's? Look at the design. There's like braided. That's a hint right there.
I'm getting to be pretty good
braided.
at... Hey,
guitar
I'm getting to be
strings.
pretty good at guessing these, you know?
This-
Who made what?
This also. So yeah, first one. Figure that one out. Is it Brittany's or Shannon? But anyways, what the whole idea behind these guitar string bracelet is the fact that these bracelets are used guitar strings that people just throw away. But it's a reminder to us that we are just like this. How God has taken things that the world considers to be trash and transforming it into something that's of value and that is beautiful. So. And you guys can get these as well online, Bredestone.com, or if you come and see us live this summer, the girls will have this. And here's the cool part about it: if you see us live this summer, you can make it custom to whatever you want it to be.
Yeah, and not just when you come and see us. Like if you say, "Man, I really like those," just browse through our website to see like what you kind of like, and if you have an idea. You're like, I really want one that's like this or like that, and email us on our website, contact@bredestone.com. You can go on our website too, and just email, say, hey, I really like this one, but I want it to have a black whatever. It's like, cool, you know, we could do that too.
Custom to your liking.
Yeah.
Have it your way. All right, so
Well,
moving on.
let's talk about Galatians.
Talk about Galatians.
Like what we've been talking about this past week, and it all started with Pat came back from I think a college thing, and he was talking about this
documentary.
What is the documentary called?
It's called Absence.
Absent.
Absent. Oh, with a T. My bad. Absent.
I feel like I gotta sneeze, but I'm not. Okay, so and in that documentary is basically talking about the absence of a father, and that's one of the biggest issues that in our culture today, and that's what they were talking about. And so, I mean, it's great. If you haven't seen it, you should go out. Yeah,
Who's it?
See it.
Who's the main writer? It says John Eldridge is the main guy that
was speaking, and I think he wrote a book about it.
Wild at Heart.
Wild at Heart. And then he's so read, I'm sure most of you probably read the book, and go try to see it. I think we watched it on Netflix.
Yep.
So Netflix has it. If you have Netflix, it's really cool, and I really, I mean, it grabbed my attention the whole time I was watching this documentary, and I was interested, but the question popped in my head, and I'm thinking, okay, somewhere down the line, there was a father there. Like, how did this start? All of a sudden, how did like the one generation and then the father, like that one father that said, "Peace out, see you later." I can't deal with this. So there's somewhere like something happened, and so this is where Galatians.
All right, I've got it here. We're gonna turn to Galatians.
So I'm gonna
Bill's
read
gonna
it.
take out his fancy.
Well, just in
dandy.
case, because it's like this thing is behind us, but you guys can see it in front of you. This is just amazing technology,
So it's Galatians 5, verses 19 to 21, and we're taking it out of the Message.
Yeah.
You guys,
And
we usually go back and forth between
the different
King
versions.
James, NIV, and just kind of sift through all the different versions just to see. Maybe.
But like this day, I mean, I've read this verse so many times, and I'm sure you have too, and I know that everyone has. But it's just, for some reason, I think my wife and I was reading something, and she tapped the Message the night before, and then the next morning, my phone was on, it's Galatians 5, and it says, "It is obvious what kind of life develops out of trying to get your own way all the time. Repetitive, loveless, cheap sex. A stinking accumulation of mental and emotional garbage. Frenzied and joyless grabs for happiness. Trinket gods. Magic show religion. Paranoid loneliness. Cutthroat competition. All-consuming yet never satisfied wants. A brutal temper, an impotence to love or be loved, divided homes and divided lives, small-minded and lopsided pursuits, the vicious habit of depersonalizing everyone into a into a rival, uncontrolled and uncontrollable addictions, ugly parodies of community." I could go on. "This isn't the first time I have warned you, If you use your freedom this way, you will not inherit God's kingdom." So anyway, when I read that, I was just blown away. I mean, that was that answered my question about, how did this start?
Mm-hmm.
And
well, because you said something as well to the fact that, in the documentary, it talks about how, the society, a lot of families is the way they are. You have, people who murder other people and do all these things, and it's because a lot of it attribute to the fact that they were coming out of a family who had no father, and so you started saying, well, if you trace it back, let's say yes, of course that person didn't have a father in the family, but maybe that father didn't have a father in his family or her family, and then you keep going up the line, but at some point there's got to be a father.
Yeah.
At some point there was that supposedly good family, or a mother and a father role model in the family. There was that unity at one point. It might be several generations back, but there ought to be one.
Yeah. And so basically the question, I mean, thanks for clarifying, but basically the question is like what happened?
Yeah.
Like, he didn't leave. Why did his son left his family? You know what I mean? And so like, this really answered the question for me. I mean, the crazy part about this is, I mean, if you read it again, it's like, this is the world we live in today. A lot of times, and I see this in myself. It's like, I argue, and a lot of times you argue about something with your wife or your coworker, your brother, whatever, and it's just because you want it your way, and it isn't anything that's like important, because how do we know? Well, at the end of the argument, you're like, what are we arguing about?
Yeah.
Like, there's a point that there's sometimes a point you're like, I'm actually lost right now because I can't remember how this all started.
Yeah.
Because all it is because you just want it your way.
Yeah.
And the thing is, maybe back in the old days, it wasn't an option for them to leave their family because it would be something really bad. People look down upon, and so now the society kind of gives you that freedom, empowers you to like, well, I can leave my family now.
Okay.
It's okay. Like, so and so does it, and blah, so it kind of gives them that choice. But just because you didn't doesn't mean, basically what I'm trying to say is, just because you didn't do that doesn't mean you don't have
that seed
inside of you. You know, there's a verse that Jesus says, "Hey, if you so hate your brother, you're a murderer."
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's how he looks at it. And I'm not saying that in a judgeful manner. I'm just trying to say, look, if you try to get your own way, this is what will develop, you know, as it goes down. A lot of this, you know, I might not be, you know, I might go out and have repetitive, loveless, cheap sex, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, most of us can attest to this: all-consuming yet never satisfied wants. We want so much in this, whatever you call it, modern society. You know, it's all about, you know,
it's all about me, because
it's like I can't wait till
iPhone.
It's like I can't wait till Christmas because I'm getting this, I want this, and I want, you know, and we are okay with it as a society. And so I think what it tells me is, if you try to get your own way all the time, is you have all this already in you. It's just that you're not giving it the chance, you know, all these different things that it lists. But if you even think that one of them is there, you have all of it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And a great illustration of this is, you know, maybe this, I don't know if this is controversial or not.
We're going to bring it up, people.
A great illustration of this is we went and watched, our family went and watched Noah this weekend. And I thought, you know, I understand the whole, there's some things that aren't in line with.
Well, if some of you haven't watched the movie, but there's like the giants that.
There's some things that like we're not sure, and it's not in line with what maybe the Bible says, and I agree with that. But I'm just pointing out some of the things that I was observing in the movie. There was a scene where Noah was going out and he was trying to find his sons' wives, basically, you know. But what he learned was, when he went out there and he came back and he was almost furious, and he came back and just had this sense of urgency, like, we need to get this done now. Like, we need to finish this arc because the world is just a bad place. But what blew me away, you know, his wife was like, "What's going on?" Kind of wanting to know what's the matter with him. And he said, "I went out there to look for, you know, a wife for my sons, but I saw myself." And that's the thing. It's like this seed, you know, whatever, you know, in the message it says, trying to get your own way, my way, the seed, which is sin. You know, yesterday I was talking to Kathy, one of our therapists, and she said her mother said, she's a massage therapist, by the way. Mother said that, you know, I is in the center of sin. S-I-N. I is always in the center. You know, it's just, I mean, it's kind of, I don't know, stuck in my head, corny a little bit, but I think it's so true. It's like, so what I'm trying to say is, look, if you see one of this in yourself, you have it all. It's just that you don't have the chance. You didn't give it the chance. You don't see it as an option to go out and have this repetitive, loveless, cheap sex, for example. Mm-hmm. But it's there. If you grew up in a family that maybe was okay with that, you would do it. And that's why, you know, when Noah was trying to explain this to his wife in the movie, back to the movie Noah, was trying to explain, and she said, or he said to his wife, "Look, if this people came after our sons and tried to kill them, wouldn't you kill them? Mm-hmm. Wouldn't you fight and kill them to protect your sons?" He said, "That makes us the same." You know, and that, to me, I was like, wow, that spoke volumes. You know, mm-hmm. and the amazing part about it is we've been talking about it about a week prior to the movie, and it was there, you know, like mm-hmm. in kind of portrayed there, and I was like, wow, this is crazy, and I feel this too. A lot of kids these days that we meet, they're looking for something to fill themselves. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like the reason why they go out there and maybe try to do it, whether it's cutting or drugs or drinking or something, it's because the seed is there. I mean, it talks about it here. Look, the impotence to love or be loved. You can't love or feel love. How many kids are going through that right now? And not only kids, but how many people are going through that right now? And if you keep, the addictions, uncontrollable addictions, like not even the addiction. I'm not just talking about alcohol and drugs. What about food?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It just everywhere, and we know it's everywhere. But the good news is, I think it's that we have Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
He's pulled us out of that. That's why he died on the cross. He died on the cross to take upon that curse. So that curse we don't have to bear anymore. The curse is gone. He's done it. He's bore that on the cross.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But
it's still, even at that point, it's still up to us whether or not we want to receive it. Because as much as it is, it's still a gift. Mm-hmm. It's still it's something that you yourself must say, okay, I'm willing to accept that. Because this talks about, you were talking about addictions and stuff like that, right? And you said it's more than just like the typical addictions that whether it's drugs, alcohol, and stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe some of you guys are like, I don't even touch alcohol. Like, I don't know what, how to even gain access to drugs or anything like that. But there's even simple things like, because you talk about doing what you want.
Exactly.
And doing what you want is typically like, if you continue on, it's like doing what you want rather than doing what what you're supposed to do. Doing what is right. You do what you want instead.
That's right.
So that addiction goes, if you want to talk about to the core of it too, it's like laziness.
Yeah.
Procrastination. Like laziness, like it's Saturday morning, come on. I just want to, sleep in but it all comes out of the mentality of like, if we really, really believe in what we say, and a lot of times, we just say things. Oh, I thank God for, you wake up, like, God, thank you for the beautiful day. God, thank you for this. God, thank you for that. Oh, God, thank you for this meal. Blessed to our bodies. Let's go eat.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Tim. Tim isn't with us. He had to go practice with his dad tonight. But I was talking to him earlier before this, and I said, it's crazy because we just say things. We love Jesus. We believe in God. We are thankful for this. We're thankful for that. But honestly, a lot of the times, we're just saying it. We're deep down inside, we're really not that thankful, because thankfulness always is a follow-up. There's always a follow-up after thankfulness.
Yeah.
It's saying like, I'm thankful God is providing me with this house or whatever like that. But what's the follow-up? What am I going to do about it? If I let this thing just come down to become trash and let it all fall apart, then I'm really not thankful to God.
That's right.
And it's the same thing with our bodies. We believe it is a temple of God, right? But it's the same thing. If we don't take care of our bodies, then it's like we're the same thing if we're not thankful with what God has given us. And I think the core of doing what it is that I want to do. Because honestly, like for me, exercising is like the biggest like obstacle in my life, because I do not like exercising. It's just a boring, painful thing for me. But I've noticed, Bill's challenged me on this too, but I've noticed that if I continue to do whatever I want, then I'm only feeding that sin, you know. But if I say, you know what, no, I'm not gonna keep giving into that sin and say, oh, I'll do it, and not because I want to be strong, not because I want to be healthy. That's not the point. The point is because I love God so much that I'm willing to do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Whether it means, if He wants me to take care of my body by exercising, well then I'll exercise, and I won't do it like, I'll do it gladly. Yeah. I'll do it gladly because I love. And I think all of this, the cure the cure for not giving into sin itself is love.
Mm-hmm.
Is love. Ultimately, the cure is love. And if we do not have love, it's going to be an uphill battle. I'm telling you, if you want to change yourself, you cannot change yourself.
No, and that's where I think grace comes in, you know, and we can't enter into the kingdom of God or be saved or whatever. That's where grace comes in. But also, you know, I like to look at it like we've already been used to this kind of life, so therefore we have to kind of change it. You know, it's the grace part is like somebody coming. Let's say you're unhealthy. Somebody come in and say, "Hey, look, you're unhealthy, and here's why." And first, some of us don't even know we're unhealthy. Some of us don't even know we have this sin. It's somebody saying, "Look, you have this sin or cancer or whatever it is, unhealthy," you know, and here's the way out. That's grace, but you still have to
do it.
That's
your response of your thankfulness.
It's the response to it. You kind of want to, you know, and that's why, you know, at the end of this, he says, if you use your freedom this way, you will not inherit God's kingdom. He's giving you the grace. He's giving you that freedom. That's what Paul talks about. He said, if you're using it the wrong way, you're doomed.
Yeah,
is basically what Paul is saying, because he's like, look, this is not the first time I've told you this, you know. So I'm glad, and the grace comes into like, I'm glad that God opened our eyes to this, you know. It's just crazy, and I just want to, while you were talking earlier, just bring something up like divided homes and divided lives nowadays. I mean, before we went to Indonesia, we went out to eat with our cousin, Sam, and to this restaurant. And we were talking, having a good time. And, you know, sometimes when you talk, and then there's that pause, you know what I'm talking about? The pause where like, and then your talk continues. But this one's like, you had this pause, and then we looked over to the next table, and we saw a family, mom and dad with 2 kids. But they were all on their phones. It's like they're together physically, but they're not there. It's like they're divided, they have their own lives. That's what they're talking, divided homes and divided lives. And I just want to share a little story about that. When we were younger, I remember we went to Sears, and I can't remember what we were doing, but I just remember there was this pile of these Walkman. Remember that? Like, it was on sale, and my mom told
like a little radio.
Yeah, a little like
cassette player.
Yeah, and like
cassette player. Some of you guys don't even know what that is.
A cassette. Yeah.
Cassette
Look it up. Google it.
Yeah, Google it.
And my mom said, to my dad, you should get one for yourself and put it in your room, because, you know, it'd be great for you to listen to. My dad used to like listening to like preaching tapes and all this stuff, and you know, and he would go to the living room and hear it, because we had a boombox or whatever like in the living room, so he'd play it there. But my mom was like, well, this is on sale, you should just do this and you can listen to it in your room.
So probably like $12.
Yeah, well, I don't know how much it was, but like he picked it up. I remember he picked it up, looked at it, and he set it back down. I didn't know why. He said no, but when we got home, he explained it to us. And what he said blew my mind, and it kind of confirmed it with this verse, you know. And just he said, look, he said, the Lord put something in my heart. He said, don't get it. Just like there's like a resistance in his heart. And he said, if you get this, and you said that this is mine, well, your kid's going to have something, and they said, this is mine. And then, you know, your other son will say, this is mine. And your wife will say, this is mine. And that's the beginning of a divided home and a divided life. That stuck in my head, honestly. I mean, I can't remember how old I was, probably 16 or 14, and that stuck in my head. I was so proud of my dad. You know, I was like, wow. He thought this so far. And I mean, it wasn't him. The grace comes into where that was the Holy Spirit, you know, God kind of tugging in his heart and telling him, don't do it. I'm not saying it's wrong to have something in your room, but it just goes to tell you, just because you can, I remember growing up, Dad would always, when we were in Indonesia, part of our lives we grew up in Indonesia, and I think back in 80 something, and when like remote control cars were huge.
Oh yeah.
I remember Dad like, my grandparents wanted to buy it for us, and want to buy us each one, and my dad said, well, promise me this one thing, you're going to buy one, not two, one remote control car. And it's like, didn't make sense to me, And it's almost like sometimes I feel like, does Dad just have this sick enjoyment of watching us argue, like over, like we would fight over this car, and what's crazy is we had one bike. The craziest stuff that Dad would do, and I'm glad he did it though. Now that looking back, and this verse kind of affirming that, is just like we had to work through.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, well, I haven't played it, I haven't touched it. The battery's about to run out. We're all like fighting.
Yeah.
But we worked it out.
It's one of those things where it's like, it's not yours. It's not mine. It's ours.
It's ours.
It's ours.
Exactly. And that's where like the whole thing, going back to the story about the family on the table, and they're looking at, they all have their own devices. They have their own thing, but they're divided.
Mm-hmm.
You think it's going to be like this, it's a great family, right?
They're not fighting.
They're not going to be fighting, but you've lost them. You've lost each other already right there. And you've made this, and everyone's have made this own community, which what blew me away is if you read the verse, and it says this one, ugly parodies of community. Parody is something that's like the real thing, but it's not, right? I know we keep in touch with a lot of our people. Facebook, but that's kind of a community that's not a real community. And there's nothing wrong with Facebook, but people spend their life on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they're sitting together with their family. Here's mom and dad and brother and sister sitting together, but they're on their Facebook. They're taking a picture and showing their friends what they're eating and all this. And I think there's nothing wrong with that, but it disconnects you from
the reality,
the presence
right there.
Yeah, and that's the beginning of a divided home. You know what I mean? That's a small thing, but if you're off a little bit, just like the seed, it just takes a little bit at the beginning, and now look at the mess. And a great Christian movie, if you all want to go out there and watch something for everybody, it's one of my favorite movies. It's called Time Changer.
It's an older movie.
It kind of gives you a perspective of that a little bit. It's an older movie, but it's the storyline and just the way they put it together is great. I really liked it. And we still watch it once in a while just to...
And I think you're talking about the family as in like what we see here, and how you move as one. You're not having your own devices, having your own agendas, and doing your own thing, because that divides it.
Yeah.
But that very same thing too happens not only in the family, but in the church.
I know.
Not only in the church, but in the body of Christ. But not only just in the body of Christ, but if we continue it on, do you think a kingdom will stand if it is divided?
Yeah, exactly.
No, it won't be. Because, see, in everything you do, if we cannot learn to live and say, today, right now, right here, what I have in front of me, what we have in front of us, this is God's will for my life.
Yeah.
If we can't accept that, then we are left with wanting more.
Yeah. Unsatisfied.
Right? Unsatisfied. Because this, you can't accept the reality, and so you're like, well, I can't wait. You know what? I can't wait till God takes me to something even better than this.
Because this is not your way.
But it's like, what do you mean better than this?
Exactly.
What do you mean? Is this not the best? And when you can say, this is the best, there's nothing better. There's nothing better. Yeah. There's no more, man, I hope I can become this, or I'm hoping this will happen. Nothing. What I have is the best. This is it. This is more than enough. And I think that's the same thing when we are as a body of Christ. Whether it's a church, you call it a church. Whether it's just community of believers, whether it's your family, right? If we cannot be as one in everything we do. I remember when we were a kid, somebody wanted to play soccer. We all play soccer. Mom, dad, aunts, uncles, anybody, cousins, all of us are going to play. And none of us is complaining about like, oh, I don't really want to play soccer. No. Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, our moms was not sports oriented at all, you know? But they still become the goalie and still played wholeheartedly. Anything we did together. Because when one person decides to go, oh, you know what? I'm not really into that. I'll just stand here and watch. Right away, there's that disconnect.
There's a division.
And if you allow that to continue, pretty soon, you're isolated. Yeah. You're isolated. And I think that's what's going on, is nobody's moving as one anymore. Everybody's busy with their own agenda.
Well, we have few and fewer. We see fewer and fewer in that.
And that's what we don't want to see happen, you know, and not just in our lives, but everywhere. And we're speaking to you guys out there, don't allow that to happen. It is a very, very small thing. It starts out very, very small thing, but you've got to see it in the long terms.
Yeah.
And nobody sets out and say, hey, I want to get married so that I can get a divorce.
Yeah.
Nobody says, I want to go out with you so I can have a breakup.
Yeah.
Nobody does a union so that they can be broken apart. But it does happen.
Because of the small
things. Yeah.
And
so that's, in closing, I think that's, you know.
Yeah. That's a perfect closing. And I just, this is something that we've kind of talked about all week, maybe a week and a half or so. And just, the Lord's been chiseling our heart, maybe is the right word. Just taking away those rust that's still there, you know? And I hope this is a blessing to you guys, because it has been an eye-opener for us. It has definitely peeled off a lot of selfishness.
Well, it's challenged us to just not give in to...
Be flexible.
Yeah, not give in to ourselves.
Yeah.
That's the biggest
So
thing.
that's really cool. And I hope you guys... I hope you guys are blessed by this. And I know... we should have some time, right? We can get some time for I know we're kind of over a little, but if you guys want to stick around, we have some questions. We'd love to answer some of that too. A few of those. You know.
Do you have any questions?
Yes.
Go ahead and speak up.
Have you ever had a time when you thought God was against you?
Have we ever had a time when we thought God was against us?
But you know, before we answer that question straight, we just want to say right here that we are thankful that God put us in a family that loves the Lord, and not only just. I know this word "love the Lord" just gets used up in the Christian world so many times, and sometimes people don't understand. And so it's like, my parents basically give up their life. And they say, look, Lord, I'd do whatever for you. You know, whether it's, they've left riches and all that kind of stuff behind and serve the Lord. And so, to answer the question, I'm going to say no. Because, to me, you know, Dad has always sat down and shown us, counted the blessings and all the things that's happening around us, and said, isn't this a sign that God loves us? You know? And he doesn't always sit down and go, oh, look, we got the money in the mail. That's it. You know, he pointed us to, like, even stuff where, I don't want to go into details of the family stuff, but like my parents went through some really unfair times in their life, and
they count that as a blessing.
And they counted that as a blessing. They said that this is the reason why we are who we are. It's because of this. And it goes back to what you said. If you believe this is from God, you know, and this is God's will.
Yeah.
The question, you know, Dad always asks this. This is maybe before I go there, but Dad always asks this: Do you think God knows what's happening?
Yep.
He always asks that. He said, do you think God knows what's happening? He said, well, yeah. Okay, that's good. So he allowed it to happen. Like, not because he's a mean God, because he loves us so much. He wants to know, are you in love with me? Because I'm in love with you, but are you loyally in love with me? Is what he wants to know. You know? James 2, verse 12. Or James 1, verse 12. Next question.
When was the moment you first felt God's presence and you knew you believed in Him?
I don't know if I could recall like back when I was a kid, first time I felt His presence, but as far as I can recall, I've always had something inside of me that is undeniable. Like, you know, people say, you know, you go through different phases in life, you know, you start to doubt, is God even real, blah, blah, blah. Like, for me, it's just, I don't think twice that God, you know, isn't real, because honestly, His presence is all around us. And no matter how far you try to escape it, God is in everything that we do, everything that surrounds us is Him. Without Him, nothing would exist. Without Him, nothing would come to be.
Yeah,
you know, so
exactly.
I don't remember anything to answer that question. I don't remember anything in particular, but it's always has been in my heart.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I agree. Next question.
What's your favorite Bible verse?
Galatians 5.
Yeah, right now I think we've been just immersed in this verse, and man, it's it's so hard to say like this is my favorite verse. You know what I mean? Like because I feel like today I read James, or no, it was yesterday. You know, like. But I want to talk about James maybe some other time, you know? Like, 'cause we could sit here and
favorite
keep talking.
verse is like rotating.
Yeah, it's so good because I don't know if you could call it favorite, but it's a verse that got hooked in our heart and became a monument, you know, kind of like, wow, you know, like, anyway, Deuteronomy 28, that's another verse that kind of stuck in our life, and so.
Next.
Okay, this is 2 questions in one.
2 questions in one.
Would you guys come back to Holstein, Iowa?
Would we come
And
back to Holstein,
Who's your favorite
Iowa?
biblical character?
Who's my favorite biblical character? Wow.
Would we
yes,
come back to Holstein? Absolutely.
Absolutely. We'd come back to Holstein,
Why?
Iowa, because they are thebomb.com.
Well, not only that, they love to feed us there.
They're nice people. We love them.
Yes, they're awesome people. And honestly, we were there. When were we there?
I know it's cold.
Not too long ago, right? Maybe
And it was windy.
February sometime. And
Yeah.
the response and just how much people.
Yeah, it's just like a community of people.
Yeah, people just wanted wanted us
to be
there,
there.
and they wanted to be there, and that just, you know, thank you again for coming out and supporting us.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
we'd love to come back.
And the second question was
Favorite character
favorite character in the Bible. Oh, Jesus. Hello.
Wow.
No, I like, aside from Jesus, I do like John, the disciple of Jesus. I think it's just he sees something else
his
that
perspective's pretty cool.
none of the other disciples really claim. It's just like love, and it was just like so simple and so straightforward. But that's amazing. So
just to be different, I guess, just like looking in the Old Testament, I really like, and I guess it kind of something that we go through, you know, is Joseph.
Yeah, Joseph.
You know, I think it's really cool.
It's like
how like trusting in God and just saying, because a lot of people they get in this tough situation and they go, oh God, you know, why? I'm doubting you. Are you even here? Are you even, you know, look at Joseph.
Yeah.
You know, Job. Look at Job. And, you know, their family says, and Joseph's like, I don't want you.
Yeah.
You know?
We'll sell you.
I'm going to sell you to somebody, you know? And it's like, it's not even like, if you read it, it looks like it's not very long, but it's yours.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, anyway, next question.
What's your
embarrassing moment. Can I just change that question a little bit and just say, what's the interesting moment? I want to say Columbus, Ohio. When the guy slapped me in the face.
Yes, we were going to go to one of our favorite spot for a restaurant, and it's a truck vendor, a food vendor that is.
What is it called? What's it called? Aromaku.
Aromaku. So if you're in the Ohio area, you could check them out, Aromaku. But they're an Indonesian vendor, just a couple, husband and wife, and we were there. It was like blizzarding snow. It was just crazy, bad weather.
Yeah.
And we were driving with the bus and trailer, and they're always parked at this parking lot, big parking lot, in this kind of like a shopping center area.
Mm-hmm.
And so we went there, and we, have a hard time just trying to even pull into the thing because of all the snow drifts and everything. We pulled in, and we finally turned the bus around and parked, and we came out and we waited because they weren't done with our order yet, because we just ordered a bunch because we like Indonesian food so much. And so,
we ordered it for like a month supply.
Yeah. And so when we were there, there's this guy who was the owner of this one place, came out and...
Well, he apparently was the owner of that whole
parking lot or something like that.
Place.
So he just came out and started yelling. It was like blizzarding, and he just opened his front door and he's like cussing, and we're like, what's going on? I thought we were like, is he yelling at us or what's the deal?
Yeah, because we had no idea.
And so we waited a little bit because he closed the door, and then moments later he opened and he started yelling at us and cussing at us again, and we're like, okay, I guess, like, just get out of here. I'm like, okay, what's going on? We're confused because we're buying this food, and then like Bill just said, hey, can you just go ask the guys, are they done yet? Because we just want to get out of here because this is getting pretty crazy. And so
because he's like threatening us basically. He's like, I'm calling the cops,
and
I'm calling the wrecker to tow you away, and I'm going, man, I'm just like picking up the stuff, like them getting out of there, and like he came up to,
and mind you, the parking lot is like massive,
and like he came up,
cars barely out there
to the driver. So I was driving and he came up to the window, and I like kind of opened he knocked, and I opened the window, and I'm like, what's going on? And he like stuck his hand in, and he's like, I asked you to get out. He obviously used some very interesting language. I didn't even know he spoke French, and I said, well, I asked him. I said, do you want me to back up and maybe, because I thought that was just like he didn't want me to block his shop, spot, like his place, his store. And I'm like, well, I'll back up, and I said, is this whole thing yours, or like, can I back up? Where do I? He said, this whole place is mine. Like, get out. And he like slapped me in the face. Like, my glasses flew out, and all this interesting.
I was there, and I was just like, what is going on? This is crazy.
I obviously I wanted to punch the guy in the face, but something in me said, just let it be. And I'm glad I listened to that. So I picked up my glasses, and I said to Ben, go check and see.
And he walked away, and Bill's like, God bless you.
Yeah.
And so I went out there. Bill's like, go check the food. If we're done, let's get out of here. So I started walking back to the bus to grab the food, and this guy just started running after me. And I was like, okay, this is kind of strange, And
that's when I ran out there too.
And then Bill ran out there, and Cody ran out there too. And then I was like, okay, what's going on? And as soon as he come, and then he finally realized we were getting food from this food vendor. And he goes, oh, he's like, I didn't know you were getting food from Aromaku. He's like, why didn't you tell me? And I was like, why didn't you ask? You could have just asked, like, hey,
what are you
doing here? Instead of just like, get out of here. And so he's like, there's just so many, drug dealing happening here.
Or whatever.
So many of these buses come. I'm like, I don't believe that any touring bus with a trailer come through this area. But
anyways,
that was an interesting story.
I ended up giving him a CD, and he's a Jew, and hopefully, he becomes to know the Lord by I don't know I hope he's listening right now, because maybe
he's like a big
great
fan now.
Yeah, I don't know, this is great. So hey, if you're listening though, hi, I'm forgiving you all that. It's just an interesting story, and hopefully next time we go to Columbus, Ohio, we'll stop by and see you again.
Yeah,
because he's a pretty cool guy actually.
Next question, or is this the last one? This is the last one. Okay.
What's the worst problem you've ever had with your bus?
Well, worst problem, we got in a wreck going to Creation West 2 years ago. I was driving 2 years ago, middle of the night, on the interstate, and then a car came on the interstate and driving the wrong direction. I was going about 65. That person was driving about 65 as well in a car.
Man, that was crazy.
Blessing of the Lord that there was nobody.
That was crazy because I was asleep and I thought you fell asleep and like.
Yeah, and I also did like a Superman thing too, like with the bus. The bus actually flew in the air. Yeah.
Oh, that was a long time ago. Yeah, that's for another time. But nothing happened.
Yeah.
Nothing bad happened.
Crazy.
Just
next question.
Face plants.
Face.
What's the best April Fool's joke or prank you've ever done or had pulled off?
Well, we almost did this April Fool's thing today.
Yeah, we were just gonna go online and be like, April Fools, we're not gonna do anything.
But we forgot.
Yeah, we forgot to do that.
No.
We don't really do April Fools.
Best April Fool's thing. I don't remember. It's probably sometime in high school.
We're not much of a pranker or like.
Yeah.
We're too busy. That's our problem. We're just like, let's get this thing done. We got more stuff to do.
I think we're just too much of an Asian.
Could be that too.
Yeah.
That was it. We did have one
All
person guess who made the bracelet.
Oh, one person did guess. Who made the bracelet?
It was Diane from Baltimore.
Oh, well.
Hi, Diane.
Who made the bracelet?
She guessed Brittany.
Yeah, because I hinted it was braided, and Brittany loves to braid hair. They also have a website when it comes to like food and braiding and stuff like that, and like alternative to it. It's called pureanthem.com.
Yes.
Pureanthem.com.
That's kind of like a sneak peek of our lifestyle, so to speak, like what we eat and that kind of stuff. And so that's kind of, if they want to know